had an adventure this week. We traveled. Deanna and I traveled to the Old Orchard Mall.
Exotic land.
The exotic land. Yeah. Where we went to Sephora. And this Sephora has, I think, he can only be described as a perfume sommelier.
Yes. Yeah.
He stands at the back of the store by the perfume, and we knew he was there.
Yeah.
It was not like a secret. We went there for him, and he comes up to you, and he's like, "What scent are you looking for?"
Yeah.
And then he sprays like 50 of them on little perfume strips.
I felt bad he kept spraying so much. I'm like, I'm not going to buy these. I'm just smelling them. Well, the other thing that I noticed is that he kind of like watches you. So you go to the perfume counter and you're just like, I'll smell this one. And he's like watching, and then he'll like walk and then turn around and walk back. And then if you go to, I went to like another place, and then he came up and he's like, "Do you need help?" And I was like, "It's happening. It's happening." He was on the prowl, and he was like a shark in the water.
Yes. And then as he's spraying them, and you're trying to smell them through your mask.
That's the hard part. I'm like,
You're like, yum.
Good.
And he'll be like, "This one is roses, cereal, and the smell of a Thursday afternoon."
Oh, it's my favorite. Like, I get it. I smell the afternoon. You're so right. It's kind of like
just smiling.
It's like when you go to a wine tasting and they're like, "Do you taste the plums?" And you're like, "Totally, I do." Yeah.
You're like, I was just gonna say plums, but
I was gonna say plums. I taste the plums. Yeah, felt like that. Where he's like, "This one is very, citrusy." Like to me, perfumes are either like musky, or completely, utterly bubblegum sweet, or exactly what I want, and I can never find exactly what I want.
I feel like they're either good or bad, and I can't tell you anything else.
You're like, "This smell good, that smell bad."
But it was very exciting, and also he looks like what you would want a European perfume sommelier to look like.
Exactly. Yeah.
Tall, ponytail, kind of like a cool vampire.
Yes. Yeah. Very lean and like long and lean, and just like he's in his element over there. Like he's dancing around, he's grabbing stuff, he's using his feet to bring the cabinets out to get more perfume. And he's also helping us, and he's helping other people over there. He's like doing it all. I was like, okay, this is fun. That was fun.
We witnessed art.
Art. Perfume is art in motion. Honestly, I've always said that.
That's what your tattoo says.
It's my grandma's favorite saying. So.
Everyone, you may have realized that Josh sounds a little different this week.
But it's still me, baby.
It's still Josh. Just kidding. We have a guest host this week. Josh is out of town. And so while Josh is away,
the mice will play.
Yeah. So our guest host this week is Deanna Ortiz. You've heard of her. You know her. You love her. She is the host of the hilarious, amazing Crushes podcast, which we are big fans of here at Being Earnest. She has taken part in all of our Guy Fieri online fundraisers, so you know her from that. She's also the host of Drunk Cooking. Woo. She's one of my best friends.
All of the above.
All of the above. Welcome, Deanna.
Thank you so much. Thank you for having me. I love being a Bernie and Ert. Yeah, that's right. Ernie's and Bert's.
You were so close.
So close.
What if as I was introducing you, like I just said something like crazy,
completely
like I didn't realize, like I was like, she's a writer for Sesame Street.
Your next person coming to the stage, my very good friend. She also. I can't think of anything crazy that I might possibly do. Nothing's coming to mind. I'm like juggler.
My favorite murder.
Yeah, she juggles bowls. Yeah, sure, okay, man.
Deanna is joining us for this special episode because Deanna, what is our theme?
Our theme this week is crushes. There's simply no other way. There's no other theme to have.
It is a crossover episode. I love this.
There's so much that we can get into, but like it's so earnest and so vulnerable to one, have a crush, and two, talk about it, to ever voice it.
You don't like to talk about crushes. You didn't have an episode of crushes.
This is so true.
You will be like, I have a crush. And then I'm like, on who? And then it's just dead silent.
And I'm like, see you later. I know. I never realized that. That's kind of fucked up. I'm a fraud. Well, because like I'll have like, you know, a crush on like the baristas at the Starbucks across the street are all super hot. And I saw one of them today and he was so nice to me. And I was like, I love you. But then like an actual, like honest to goodness, this is my crush. Like I can't talk about that. What if they hear me? You know, it's too real.
There is nothing more embarrassing than having a crush.
It's so, and especially like, oh, okay. Well, let's talk about the one that I have right now, which I'm not saying who it is, but like when it's like first starting, you know, and you're like, oh my God, who is this? And you like want to find them on the internet and you want to like follow their social media and all stuff, but you don't. You simply like, don't.
There's something in you that's like, I mean, I don't have a crush. I just need to find out where they went to high school, what town they were born in, what their mom's name is, what,
exactly.
like everything.
All of it. I got to watch every movie they've ever made, you know?
Yes.
Because all my crushes are movie stars. And then like, you know, you're like, because that's the only access you have to them. And I was like that in high school too, of like going online and finding everybody on Facebook because I'm never going to talk to them, you know? But it's like such a great feeling. And then after a while, you're like, I'm fucking insane. Like I'm laying in bed at midnight, just like Googling YouTube videos. Like this is stupid. I literally had to be like, stop.
You know, the weird thing with celebrity crush too is like when you think you know them in your head, mm-hmm. like you're like, okay, I've got the lay of the land. I know who they are. Yeah. And then a piece of information comes in that you weren't expecting and you have to be like, God. What?
Can I make this work?
Can I make this? Why didn't I know? I mean, famously on this pod, I have a huge crush on Taika Waititi, as you know.
Yeah. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And I was reading an interview the other day and he mentions his stepson. And I was like,
whoa.
We didn't know about this.
Whoa. That's a big bomb to drop.
Gather around, everyone.
Yes.
Never told me.
Never did. It's like, it's so embarrassing. I do this a lot where like, when I have like a specific crush and I'm like in the car listening to music and it's like, you know, a romantic song and I'm just like, oh my God, I'm feeling like crushy feelings and I'm also listening to the song. Then when the crush is done and I listen to the song again, like months later, I'm like, this song feels like mine and John Mayer's wedding. Like, isn't that so
like, I remember our first date to them.
I do that a lot where I'm like, here's our meet, here's how we're going to meet and here's how it's going to go down. And then here's our wedding and this is what's going to happen. It's exhausting. Yes. It is exhausting.
It's exhausting. It is a full-time job to have a crush. And if you're juggling 9-10 celebrity crushes like I am,
you have more than one all at the same time.
Exhausted. Yeah, I would say, but not, you know, it's just different levels. My question for you, real crush, celebrity crush, whatever. Mm-hmm. Not those are real, but does it peter out for you or does one day you wake up and you're like, I hate this guy now?
Dude, it's so fucked up because like for a while I had this celebrity crush for a really long time and I was like, nothing will ever change this. And then I found out that they had a girlfriend and it was like instant. And I was like, whatever, they can have a girlfriend. I can still, you know, plan my wedding. And then it was just like done. And that'll happen. Or like what you said, like something like annoying where you're like, you're not who I thought you were.
Yeah.
We can't make this work. Yeah, exactly. You're like, okay, so you just wear that scarf because you like it, you know? It's always a hard stop for me. It's never like, and then one day I just, you know, I started thinking of them less and less. It was like something happens. And most of the time it's has a girlfriend or too many people know about them. So I'm like, it's no longer, because all my celebrity crushes are very attainable until everyone else is like, I also have a crush on Brad Pitt. And I'm like, well, now I can't have him.
Now it's too far. Yeah.
He's too far away. Yeah. What about you? But then they're always like on the shelf, you know, like for later. I can always go and just grab it just in case.
Like if the girlfriend situation changes, you see a breakup, suddenly you're back in.
Maybe it depends on who it is. For the most part, I'm like, I'll like rewatch a movie and be like, ugh, what times we had together.
Like an ex. Wistful.
Me and George McKay from 1917. Oh, we were so happy over the summer. Every relationship. It's beautiful. Okay, do you stop cold turkey or do you just?
Yeah, I think I stopped cold turkey with a celebrity crush, and I'm like, that was embarrassing. Like, it's like I wake up like no.
I'm never embarrassed, but I am just like, we're not telling anybody what happened. You know, like
we just are going our separate ways.
Mm-hmm. I literally said this in the last crushes that I did, where I'm just like, I'm ready for this crush right now to be over because I want to stop clearing my browser history. Like,
are you gonna find your browser history?
I don't know. I maybe he could be a government spy, and he's gonna be like, "What are you Googling?" I also don't need that. Like, you know, like sometimes you'll just be like on Facebook and you're like typing stuff, and then it'll come up, and you're like, "I don't need to be reminded about what I did when I was doing that."
That was who I was. This is who I am.
I know I did it yesterday, and I'm probably gonna do it again today. But like, I want a fresh start. Like, don't remind me that I searched for this guy's mom. Facebook.
I do have really cold turkey ones because I mean, you know this, my celebrity crushes are almost always deeply embarrassing.
Yeah.
Like, I don't have like a good track record of celebrity crushes.
No. Taika Waititi is a good one though.
I mean, I know, that's why I'm like, let's keep this one as long as we can, because like,
you hold on to
God
him.
knows what the next one is.
No, you hold on tight. Yeah, I don't think that one's gonna stay for a minute.
I hope it is, because we all know I went through my Michael Cohen stage.
That was big.
And I don't know if that was so much as like a celebrity crush, so much as I was like, I thought it was funny. And then like, I told the story so many times of our future.
Yeah.
Make people mad that then I started like believing in the future. Totally.
You willed yourself into a crush with him.
I willed myself into the crush, and then famously went through my deeply embarrassing Impractical Jokers phase.
I can't believe that that's over, really. And it didn't really hit me that it was over until you were like, "Oh my God, I can't believe I did that." And I was like, "Oh, is that lame now? We couldn't tell you that it was lame before." I'm like, "Oh yeah, you're right. That is crazy, Paula."
Yeah, you're right.
Like, oh, it happened so quietly, you know? Like, it started with such a bang that like when it ended, it was just like an old dog put down behind a tree.
Well, isn't that kind of what it's like falling out of love? It's just so quiet.
Just a quiet burn. Yeah. Oh my God, that is so true.
Deanna, what are like the most boring celebrities to have a crush on? Like, I think you and I do a pretty good job of having interesting celebrity crushes. Like, who do you think is like, if somebody was like, "This is my celebrity crush," you'd be like, "I didn't want to talk to you as a person."
Well, it literally happens like every time I try and book somebody for crushes, because I have people give me just a list of, you know, any celebrities. Because when it started, it was like, "Who's the celebrity that you think is hot that nobody else thinks is hot?" But it's a very loaded question, because like people are like, everybody that I think is hot is hot. What are you talking about? So I just ask for a list, and then I choose the ones that I think are the most embarrassing. But, you know, when you see like generic ones like Zac Efron, you know, or like,
oh yeah,
all the ones that everyone thinks, like anybody that's like people's sexiest man, you know, Brad Pitt. I love Leonardo DiCaprio, but he's also everybody's crush. You know, everybody thinks he's hot. Everybody thinks Brad Pitt is hot. So it's like, let's be original. Let's think outside the box.
Yeah, it's almost like the second somebody says a Hemsworth, it's like, okay.
And duh. Like, that doesn't mean that he's your crush. Yeah. Yeah. One of those. Yeah, I think I mean, everybody thinks Harry Styles is hot. Everybody
is so attracted to Harry Styles. Okay, let's play a game.
Yeah.
Tell me what you think your relationship with Harry Styles would be like.
Oh my God.
Like, assuming that like, you know, Harry Styles, and whether you're in or not,
I do know
romantically attracted to you.
He is. Yeah.
What happens in your situation?
Okay, so like,
how will this play out is the game that I famously like.
Oh, totally. Yeah. Which I now play in my head every day. I think that we'd have a very like chill relationship, you know, like he's a rock star, but then he just like comes home and we just kind of like hang out and watch movies and like just like homebody together. I don't think that we're like going out on the town. I think he keeps his private life private. But maybe this is also because I saw in Dumois that him and Olivia Wilde are just like walking around London, and I'm like, casual celebrities are just like us. They walk.
They walk around. They take walks. They go outside.
Yeah, I think do that. I can do that very easy. Yeah, I think our relationship, we wouldn't want to be like in the lights or like being like caught by the paparazzi. I think it would be like I would be his at-home girlfriend. Is what I'm trying to say. He would keep me locked inside like a little house elf. That's what I think, and that's what I want from us. You know,
I like that. Are you two lasting? Are you guys like a thing forever?
Oh yeah, forever and ever. No, I don't. I think it just kind of, you know, he gets too busy, I get too busy. We're on opposite sides of the world, and we just can't make it work. And it's okay, you know. He's troubled. You can just tell he has stuff going on, and he's. It wasn't meant to be. You know, or I have a torrid illicit affair with Neil from One Direction. Niall from One Direction. Can't even say his name right. From with Niall, and he's the Irish one. We all know I love an Irishman. So like, Harry's away on tour one day, and Niall comes over to like drop something off, and I'm just like, oh my god, like Niall's there for me. He is like home with me, and we're baking and doing walks together, and Harry doesn't know. And then one day he comes home and he finds me and Niall baking together, and he's devastated. Oh but I get to keep the house.
Oh no, One Direction.
But I get to keep the house in London. Yeah.
Do you stay with Neil then?
Niall. I know I said it wrong, and I'm correcting you. What a bitch.
You're like, I don't know much about anything, huh?
No. I'm like, okay, so you're really not a fan, is what you're telling me. So there's 4 of them, in case you didn't know.
They're all going in the same direction.
Yeah, 1. And no. I'm not interested in Niall. He was just there to fill the void. Yeah, it's okay. But Harry's devastated. He never dates again. He never finds love again.
And every album is obviously about you.
Oh yeah, it's really embarrassing for him.
Deanna, Host of Crushes, is another.
One of his songs is like, I just don't want to be another crush. And I'm like, oh my god, bro. That's a good song. I'm writing it right now.
You're like, I gotta get over it.
Get over it, honey. Come on.
The bridge, Harry.
Yeah. It's kind of romantic.
My favorite game is imagining relationships with celebrities, but especially the endings. Because like, I think when you have a celebrity crush, you're like, and it lasts forever. But then when it's just a random celebrity, it's so fun to be like, and then why are we just like not good together?
Yeah, how does this fall apart? Because they do
definitely not work.
What's wrong with them or me? Because you kind of think like, if you were to date a celebrity, that you would be like the most perfect girlfriend. You're like, I'll do whatever they want. Like, I'll have an open relationship if you want to have an open relationship. Like, I just want to be with you because
I gotta get this gossip.
Yeah, right. You're like, I just need to be at the Emmys. Yeah, I can have that in my mind. I'm like, I would let so much go if I was dating Harry Styles. Like, oh, no question. We would make it work because I would be whatever they want. Just so fucked up.
I will make this so easy. So, do you want to know mine and Harry's?
Absolutely. I was like, no. I'm good.
I've thought about this one a lot. So he comes to Chicago for 2 weeks in the summer to do a little intensive IO workshop a little intensive improv workshop at IO.
Okay.
And guess what?
Who's his teacher, man?
Well, not me, but I'm also there.
Oh, okay. Good that you didn't make yourself the teacher.
Thanks.
You're on their level.
So I'm there and I'm casting a show and he auditions and he doesn't get it.
Harry, so sad.
I'm not going to cast some newbie. I'm not casting some newbie. He comes at me. He barely even has a resume. What? He starred in some movie about World War I? Honey, who hasn't?
Honestly, who hasn't? You telling me?
So he becomes like, but he's like kind of involved in the show. And then like, we become like really good friends and we were like super having fun. And then one day he just like makes a move. And I'm like,
sly dog.
What? I'm like, what? Because I did not see him like that at all.
Oh my God.
Everyone is always like, he's so hot. And I was like, is he?
And we're also like, he's so into you too. And you're like, as we're
everyone's
friends.
like, he's so obsessed with you. And I'm like, what?
Huh.
And then he makes a move and like kind of as a joke, I'm like, okay, I guess I'm going to date Harry Styles for a few weeks.
It's a classic bit.
And it's like kind of fun, but like inevitably, like after a few weeks, we just decide we're better as friends.
And you still don't cast him in a show.
He still is not getting cast.
He really doesn't have the timing that he thinks he does. You know, he likes to lead when he really should be following.
He just doesn't take notes.
He has a hard time establishing a relationship. Like, right. You know, he doesn't, you know, my favorite, I guess it's like fine. I don't do improv anymore, but you know, it's so funny to me is that when I'm watching improv and people are in a scene and they use each other's real names, like, it's just so funny to me. It feels so lazy. And I'm like, that should be illegal. That should be against the rules that you guys love so much. You know, okay, you have to do this, this, and this, but you can't think of a different name than the person you're staring at.
2 thoughts on that. One, if Harry Styles is on your improv team, I guarantee you're never calling him like George. You're going to call him Harry Styles every time.
Harry Styles, yeah. First and last.
You're going to be like, Harry Styles? Someone go to the kitchen, you know.
Harry Styles, you're late for dinner. It's me, your wife. I know you're not supposed to do girlfriend wife, but I'm always making myself the girlfriend. Kiss
That's
me.
kind of our trick. We're dating him as a joke. One of the most there was this improv teacher at IO, Susan Messing, who rules.
Oh yeah, I know her.
So great. But I was so nervous to have her. And the reason I was so nervous to have her was because she was in the movie While You Were Sleeping. And I love the movie While You Were Sleeping.
Yeah.
And so she's like sitting in front of me, like our very first day. And we're just like talking. All of us are like talking about improv. And then she's like, so for example, there's just like these things your brain goes to. And she's like, so what name do you always go to for a improv scene? Like, what do you always call people? And she calls on me. And I look her dead in the eye and I say, Susan.
Paula. No.
I dead ass go, Susan.
What did she say?
She was like, oh, yeah, that's a very old fashioned name. And I was like, okay.
I'm going to go. I'll show myself out. Who was she in While You Were Sleeping? Who did she play?
She was, wait, is it While You Were Sleeping? It's the one about the train in Chicago.
Yeah. While You Were Sleeping with Sandra Bullock.
Yeah. She was the friend, but most of her stuff was cut, but she's in it for a little bit.
Get out. Okay. She's Sandra Bullock's friend or a friend of the family?
I think she's a friend of the family.
Oh.
And I actually didn't really remember her from that movie, but I looked her up and I saw that and I was like,
that's enough for me.
A movie I know.
One of the movies I like. Yeah.
Okay, so here on being earnest.
Here on being earnest.
Here on being earnest. Well, Josh is away. I just changed the name. We love to do a little thing called Mount Rushmore, where we just decide like the top 4 in a different theme.
Mm-hmm.
So I thought it'd be fun if we did the top 4, the Mount Rushmore of crush types.
I love it. Amazing.
Thank you.
Because crushes come and go. You crush different. There's so many different types for everybody.
Well, I mean, the first one is obviously in the Jefferson spot. We're looking at a celebrity crush, right?
Oh yeah, that's a big crush.
Yeah,
because it's so easy. It is so easy to have a celebrity crush.
Yes, and it's because you don't know. They could just be whoever you want to be.
You can put whatever personality you want inside of them to play out whatever fantasy you have.
Yes.
Yeah.
So I mean, that is my favorite type.
Yeah, that's good. I think a high school crush, where like you're first figuring out like what's hot and what's not. Yeah. And it's like it's so intense. It is so intense.
Oh,
the high school crush.
Yes. That is truly like a high school crush is truly one of the most earnest things in the world.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
It is just like it is so intense. You are all in. If they say to you like, oh, hey, how's it going? Like you're immediately to your friends going, okay, so he said, how's it going? But like he said, how's it going?
My fantasy.
Like,
yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. It kind of like, you're always looking for signs that this person is in love with you.
Mm-hmm.
And you're constantly, if they do something that's not, everybody's always like, he's just confused.
Yeah. Yeah. Or you're always like, at least for me, like if I had a class with the crush that I had, I'd be like watching them to see if they would look at me and like we catch eyes from across the room. Huge. Yes. Huge.
Yes.
any type of affection. When I was in elementary school, like the crush that I had, one day he like patted me on the back and I was like, oh my God, he's obsessed. He's obsessed and he's in love. And it's with me. Yeah.
Yes. I think that's why it's so earnest, is because it's like the littlest thing, just you will obsess over it.
Yeah.
Like the smallest thing. And then now it's like, as adults, it's changed. I don't think you kind of get the same crushes in the same way.
Oh, no. You learn to like filter it out, I guess, or like realize how, I don't know. It's different. It's like, you're not as nervous, I guess, about a crush. You're like, about a real person crush, at least, because at least if you have an actual crush, you're like, well, I can talk to this person. I'm incredibly charming. I say that, and I refuse to talk to a man ever. I refuse to slide into anybody's DMs. I'm like, I'm dead. I'll die. So I guess nothing's changed.
You're full on deleting your search history.
I know. I'm like, I'm confident. I'm cool. Okay, Google. Delete history.
There's also something with like, as adults, it feels like the stakes are higher. Totally. Like adults, it's like, oh, I have a crush on them, so I need to ask them out so this thing can happen. But like when you're in, I don't know, when you're like a kid and it's like like when you're in high school or middle school and it's like the idea of them like hanging out with you, the idea of them sitting at your table at lunch is like too much.
It's way too much to handle. And also, like, if you were to ask someone out in high school, you're asking them out to be your boyfriend. You're not asking them out on a date, you know? Like, that's weird. It would be so... I would never in my wildest dreams walk up to a crush in high school and be like, do you want to go to the movies with me? Like, that would be fucking insane.
That'd be insane.
That would be insane.
Would be like, that's my boyfriend now.
Yeah, if you agree to meet up with me outside of school, you are my boyfriend. I don't care if it's for a project. I don't care if it's for anything. You're my boyfriend now.
I don't make the rules.
I don't make them, but I sure do play by them.
And yeah, there's like, there's very little, I mean, I didn't really like, I wasn't cool. I like didn't date in high school, but there was very little buildup.
Yeah.
So like, now this person's your boyfriend.
Which makes it feel so much, like, I think that's what makes it seem more intense, that you're like, we're going from 0 to 100. Like, there's no, like, flirty beginning. I'm like, what is this? What are we doing? I don't know. Blah, blah, blah. It's like, you're my boyfriend now. And we hold hands in the hallways.
And surprise. And I put a tiny one of your school pictures in my, like, locker.
Get used to it. You better hug me goodbye. You better hug me goodbye before you get on the bus, bitch. Otherwise, we're fighting.
My friend will break up with you on my behalf.
Oh, totally. I did that for so many of my friends. So many of my friends. I'm like, Kate wanted me to tell you that it actually isn't working, but she still wants to sit behind you in bio.
You're the go-to.
Always. Yeah, I broke up with a guy over the phone for my sister because our voices used to sound the same. So funny. Yeah.
And how did it go?
Great. He was at her wedding.
Was he really?
Yeah, he was at the wedding and he was like, Katie always tells me that, like, you broke up with me instead of Mara. And I was like, well, do you believe her? Like, who do you believe, me or Katie? I'm saying no. Katie's saying yes. So pick. And he's like, oh, okay. Yeah, he's just so weird. I used to like be really good friends with all my sister's friends. And then I still am, but I hadn't seen this one guy in a long time. That same guy. And so I saw it. We hung out, like, I don't know. Something was going on and he was in town. And so all of us were getting together. And he said something to Mara, like, before I got there, was like, what would you do if I kissed Deanna on the lips when she got here? And she was like, fucking don't. I was like, that was not funny. It's so weird and random. And like, if I hadn't seen you in so long and we went to high school together and you were just like, hi, and you grabbed me and kissed me on the lips, I'd be like, okay, I'm leaving, I guess. Like, you're a predator. Crazy.
Yeah, it's not like the move.
And then I was like, okay, I'm glad I broke up with you. Stop trying to win me back.
Okay, he's obviously obsessed though. If he's like,
he's in love. What do you think she would do if I kissed her on the lips? I'm like, okay, are you 12? Because I'm not.
What do you think she would do if I asked her to be my girlfriend as a joke, but then like we actually dated?
As a joke bit. No, you don't get it's funny because it's just joke. God, love it.
That like middle school, high school crush. Also thinking of like when you would be at like a middle school, like the tension at a school dance.
Yeah. Oh my God.
Like you would just be like, is somebody going to ask me to dance?
Is anybody going to ask me to dance? I lied in 7th grade and I told everybody that I knew the Thriller dance. And then they they put the Thriller song on in a 7th grade dance and everybody got around me. And I was like, I know some of it. I was like, I thought it'd be so cool. And it would have been cool if I just busted out Thriller. Get the fuck out of here. But yeah.
You're not wrong. That would have been cool. I want to know how many times you brought it up in casual conversation. Like, hey, by the way, if anyone ever asks, I do know the Thriller dance.
Like, I think it was more of like, I can't wait for the dance because I learned the Thriller dance. I can't wait for the spring formal because I know the Thriller dance.
But you didn't get to the part where you actually learned it.
No, I got to the part where I would watch it a lot and be like taking steps of like cutting it down and being like, okay, this is the first, this is the second, and like putting it all together. But Thriller is like a long song. It's a really long song. So I was like,
so long.
I'm actually good. I got through the first, like, I can do the first like minute or two, and then I'm like tired.
I think you still wowed him.
Yeah, a little bit, just a little bit. Like, wow, she did it.
Were you someone who danced with people at school dances? Did you dance with guys?
You're gonna die. Yes and no. I feel like when we were young, it was like the grind train was big, of like everybody getting in line and just grinding at each other, which is hot.
Honestly, shocking that schools went. I see nothing wrong. Actually,
this is actually fine with me. It was actually really hot, and pretty liberating as a middle schooler. So, short answer, no.
Just let a group of 12-year-olds line up.
You had to get in a line, yeah. So when I was in like freshman year, I looked up love spells on how to like make somebody fall in love with me, and so I did it to one person, and it was like put his name on a piece of paper and put that piece of paper in a piece of fruit, cover it in honey, and in a full moon, like put it under a tree, blah blah blah, all this stuff.
Elaborate.
It was elaborate. I had to sneak out of my house to do it. And then fast forward to the homecoming dance. I was grinding on my girls, doing what we do, and I feel like hands come up on my hips, and I turn around and it was him. It was the guy, and I was like so scared that I had that I was a witch that I just ran away from him.
Oh.
I'll never forget the feeling of like strange hands coming on your hips. I'm like, oh my god, it's happening! We're doing it.
I'm a witch.
I did it. I'm a witch. He's also going to be at my cousin's wedding next year. So I'm going to be like, what's up? I know you're engaged, but you are still in love with me.
Grind train time.
Hey, let's go back to freshman year. You want to reminisce with me?
What time is this grind train arriving in the station?
Honey, at this wedding? Tell your girlfriend you have to go. It's so crazy. Yeah. Another type of crush is like the fleeting crush of like, you know, someone that you just see, like a Trader Joe's employee or like a guy on a bus that you're like, you don't interact at all. You just pass and you're like, I register you as hot, and that's all that's happening.
Yeah.
And I'll think about you for another day.
Yes. Yeah. You register, he's hot. And then also you're like, and I can see our life together.
Quickly.
Actually, really quickly, I can kind of see the future that we're going to have.
Before you go, I'm just going to tell you, I can see the future we have together. Yeah, totally.
Before you get off at the Sedgwick stop, I just do have to tell you
one thing. We are something
really fast.
Yeah,
really fast. You might never see me again. Yeah,
yeah, that's a good crush.
That is where. That's like where Craigslist Missed Connections gets involved.
Totally. Yeah.
Have you ever posted one?
Absolutely not.
No.
I think that they must be, but like no one's looking up there anymore. I don't think.
I mean, there has to have been like some people that, there it is. There has to be some people that met there, right?
Oh, totally. Yeah. I think now it would be more of like a Twitter do your thing kind of deal where it's like, I was at this thing and you were at that thing and blah, blah, blah. Twitter do your thing. It seems like a less creepy way. If I put something on Craigslist Missed Connections and I got someone back, I'd be like, well, you're a murderer. And even if you are the person that I thought you are a murderer still.
Oh yeah. It's like I don't want to meet the person that would respond to my ad.
Exactly. Yeah. I don't want to be the person that's trolling Craigslist for me.
I hate to tell you that there's very few missed connections now. It's a whole lot of like looking for like a younger guy, married woman kind of thing.
Oh, personal ads. That's fun.
not the same.
Not simply not the same. No. It's gone. It's long gone.
Man.
Probably for good reason.
That was a freaking time.
A time to be alive, baby.
We have the fleeting, the school.
Mm-hmm. Celebrity.
What is our fourth
type? A fourth crush. I don't know.
Place, but I don't think we do workplace.
Work is tough. Work is tough because it's never the same type of crush, you know? I think workplace might fall under like a realistic crush where it's like you might actually, you know, it's like someone in your improv class or like another where you're like, okay, yeah, an actual like this could be maybe this could actually be a thing crush.
So do we think the fourth one is a realistic crush or is there something more wild?
A crush on someone that you're related to.
You know, we've all had that thing.
We all know. Or maybe like an online crush. Of like,
oh, okay, that's interesting because that is a real 21st century vibe.
So real for me. And like we were talking about before, it's easy. It's like almost as easy as a celebrity crush where like you can crush on a real person online and like because you have that catalog of like every tweet they've ever sent, or like every blah 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 blah. So many people meet online, so many people meet on social media, and it's like that's really easy to kind of fall into a world of crushing just online, and then you meet the person in real life, and you're like, you kind of suck, and that's okay.
I actually like that person that you were more.
Yeah,
and then people have crushes on like, oh, maybe you find someone really funny on Twitter, and you're like, oh, I kind of have like a crush on like this person's vibe, but also catfish, right?
And also, yes, yeah.
And okay, that's our fourth big pillar.
Wow, we did it.
Have you ever catfish?
Actually, no, I haven't. Sounds like fun though. Sounds like it could be really fun. I'm interested in it. I just don't think I have the gall. I don't think I have the audacity yet to go.
I don't think it's like very hard to catfish someone. Like you watch that show, you just have to Google pretty person and then use them as your profile picture.
And then use like the third picture.
Yeah, like it's not hard.
Yeah, I do think it'd be really easy. And I want to catfish someone and have them give me all their money. So I think it'd be very easy to swindle elderly people out of their money. That's what I want to do. How disappointing for someone to be like, oh my God, I'm seeing Bruno Mars. And then it's just me in my basement. Like, well,
gotcha. $1,000.
It's me, bitch. And I spent it.
It's long gone.
Truly.
Now, you and I both love the television show Catfish.
Yes.
Do you think the catfish get paid for being on that show? Because otherwise, why would you be on a show that essentially is like, hey, look at this piece of crap?
100%. Yeah, I think that people that are the catfishes on Catfish, and I think that people that are the scammers on 90 Day Fiancé are getting money. I think they're getting a lot of money because there's no way to drive that story forward unless you're actually seeing, like, it's such good TV to be like, and then there she was. Like, there's no outcome if there's no, you don't finish the story. So I definitely, they have to be getting money. And if they're not asking for money, they're stupid. That's
like your job. You like get them money.
If MTV contacts you and it's like, we want you to be on TV. If your next question isn't how much are you going to pay me, like, get the fuck out. You're not getting, like you said, you're not getting famous from this. You're going to be an asshole.
It is incredible that the television show Catfish has not put itself out of business, because what those two guys do, and I know there's different, whatever, I'm still in the old episodes. What those two guys do is they sit down, they reverse Google image search the person. Then they like look up their email address.
Yep.
End of list.
And they send some texts.
It is shocking.
Crazy.
It is shocking to me that people aren't like, oh yeah, I mean, I can do this for sure myself.
Yeah. And it's always like, I don't know, it's kind of like when you watch cult documentaries and you're like, that could never happen to me. Like, how do these people fall for it? And then it's like, you watch Catfish and you're like, how do these people fall for it? It's like, that I would never let that happen to me. It's crazy.
Do you think you could get catfish though?
No, I think I'm too quick. I'm too smart. everything that we just talked about like how deep we were going into, literally, I gave you a tweet and you were like, BRB, I'm looking for his mom's Facebook. I'm like, it's too much. But that person is a real person. Like, I don't want you to think just because you didn't find his mom's Facebook that he's a catfish.
I did not find Deanna's celebrities crushes.
I don't think he's a celebrity. We wouldn't call him a celebrity. He's just a regular. He's a regular. He's a regular crush. Can we talk a little bit about sliding into DMs?
Yes.
Insane.
You don't do the slide.
I could never. I barely slide into celebrities' DMs, and they're not even reading that.
Oh yeah, I'll slide into every celebrity's DMs.
I'm like,
not in a sexual way, but I'm messaging everyone on Selling Sunset. Absolutely, you better believe it.
Yeah, well, like a real person to be like, because when when Evan did crushes, he was talking about how he's like really good at sliding into people's DMs, and he's like, you just got to do this, blah blah blah. And I was like, he kind of gave me pointers, and I was like, that's good advice, but I'm scared and tired, and I don't think it's going to be a good idea. And I'm like, what I can't imagine is sliding into someone's DMs and then them seeing the slide and not acknowledging it. Like, that is devastating. And I would rather not put myself in that situation. That is so vulnerable to then just have them be like, seen. And you're like, oh my God, I'm dying. I'm going to die here.
That's the thing that tells you. It's like, yeah, they saw it and they chose no.
And I'm not going to not refresh it every 30 seconds to see if they've seen it or not. Like, that's what else am I going to do with my day?
Well, that also feels like going back to like high school crushes, when you would send someone a text and then you'd be like, I'm not going to look at my phone for 5 minutes. And then as soon as 5 minutes were up, you like flip it over and you're like, okay, did they answer? You know
Are they there yet? Yeah. Oh God.
Deanna, you and I were together when we slid into the DMs of the guy from Succession.
Oh my God. One of my like tried and true celebrity crushes is Cousin Greg from Succession. And it just like, as soon as people started posting on Dumois about it, I was like, crush done. Crush over.
Crush done. Now people have a crush on him.
I was like, no, we're done here. How dare you?
We were out with friends and we slid into those DMs and he answered.
Yeah.
And you went to the other room.
I had a panic attack.
I can't even be around.
The first thing I did was when he responded to one of our friends sliding into his DM saying, my friend has a crush on you, I immediately unfollowed him. From Instagram. I was like, I'm done. He's gonna, I don't need him connecting this. I don't need him connecting and going to our mutual friends, thinking that everybody's as crazy as I am to like get to the bottom of this at like midnight. I'm like, he's gonna go and he's gonna see that we have 3 mutual friends and I'm gonna be one of them. And how freaking dare you? But yeah, it was intense. It was really intense. I was also very drunk. So I was like, we can't be doing this today. He's gonna come over.
Imagine this like Emmy nominated actor, winning actor.
No, just nominated.
Nominated.
He didn't win. He's just nominated.
Being like, someone has a crush, whipping out his phone and going through one by one.
Oh God, it's so embarrassing.
I would.
Look,
I've said it before. I will say it again.
Yeah.
I think, now I'm not a religious person. I did not grow up in a church. So, take this what you will. I'm sorry if this is insulting to everybody listening. I don't know what happens when you die, but I think 2 things happen. I think you get up there to the pearly gates, and I think they hand you 2 books. And one is huge books.
Yeah.
And one is the answer to every mystery that was ever on Earth.
Amazing.
So you can be like, who killed Jean Bonnet?
Black Dahlia.
Like,
let's figure it out.
Black Dahlia. Like all of these are in there.
Yeah.
And the other is a book. Or more accurately, those old school printers that had the perforated edges that you would have to rip off?
Yeah, yeah.
It's a huge stack of that. And on that one is everybody that has ever had a crush on you.
Yeah.
And the day it started and how it started.
And you can just read it like this. Like you're just pulling them up. Like, yeah.
And it's all of them. It's like you were somebody's like bus crush. But then also like, was there someone in high school? Like every single one.
Honey, I'd love to be a bus
crush. Does not say when it ends because I don't want it on that list being like, you farted in class, crush done. Like,
no, you just gotta know the start because that way in your head you can be like, wow, they pined for me all their life.
Yeah. Yeah, years of pining.
We need
They never
that.
truly got over it.
Ugh.
And I think you just get to sit in one of those love sack chairs
Mhm.
and just go through those.
And this is before you get to heaven. This is the preamble to heaven.
This is the preamble. This is in the lobby.
And this is in the lobby, honey. Oh my God. I do have a question for you. If you tell me how you're going to slide into someone's DMs, let's not even do celebrity. Let's just say person. If you're like, I have a crush on this person, and let's say they only have an easy amount of followers, because that's the other thing, or because you are a crazy person and you were like, okay, so guys, and we can cut this if you want, Paula, but today I told Paula one of my crushes, and she did what a good friend does, and finds everything there is to know about them, and that's very good. But this crush only has like a little under 2,000 followers on Instagram, which you guys know as well as I do. It's not a lot. I'm breaking 1,700 right now, and I feel good about it. But for a crush, you need more. You want to crush with like a hefty following, so you don't look crazy watching every story, and also that they won't know when you follow them. Because that was a mistake I did. I followed, and then I was like, what am I doing here? And then I unfollowed. So they got 2 notifications. No, they got 1 notification. Yeah, I was like, oh, God, this is bad. I just didn't need that. I didn't need them to know so quickly about that I existed. But Paula was like, we're doing it. We're sliding into the DMs. And I just have to know, what's your opening line? What are you going to say? How are you going to start?
This is a great question. So, Deanna, I don't know if you know this. I've had a boyfriend for 9 years.
What?
I know.
Who?
Some guy.
And I've never seen him before?
I've never mentioned it.
David?
I think that's his name.
I just thought he was a fan. Oh my God.
Big Ernie and Bert.
Crazy.
So I have not been an online dater
before.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But I think also like being with someone for so long, I have no fear of God in me. Do you know what I mean? Like I have forgotten about what the feeling of being rejected is like.
Mm-hmm.
So that is why like I will 100% of the time shoot my shot. I'll message John Mayer for you, which I have anything like that. I'll absolutely do.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like I would just slide in and be like, you plus me equals forever.
Oh, no. No way in hell. I'm taking your phone away, young lady, because that is absolutely insane. That is unhinged.
I don't know. What's like a thing that like people say, like happy sexy Friday?
Okay, so like what I think, well, what Evan's advice is, and is now the law, is
happy sexy Friday.
Happy Sexy Friday from me to you, is to message them and be like, what was it? Oh, when they post on their story, you like emotion react. Okay, so that's how you start. That's how you plant a little seed. You emotion react.
Every time somebody emotion reacts to me now, I'm going to be like, oh, okay, back off.
They're into me. And then if the person is like, oh, okay, let's do this. So you start with emotion reacts and then you comment. So you're like, oh my God, this is so great. And then if they respond, there you go. You have an in. But if they don't respond, you have to jump into the river. So it's difficult to understand sometimes.
How many messages can you send them before you're like
insane? Bye? Before you're a crazy person? Okay, you're asking me? I'm saying -1. Maybe one or two. If they don't respond after the first one, I'm like, yeah, take a hint. Like take the big hint and move along. But to message someone and be like, hey, I saw you in this movie and I think you're really cute. Like, so what are we doing here?
No.
That's insane. Because you already come to the message with an agenda of like, we must date.
Yeah. I don't like that. Well, you and I have famously started a group chat with John Mayer. And he never responded yet.
Not yet, but he will. Yeah.
And I think that's kind of the way for you to get in there with him, because it's just like, we're just sending him like what we were up to that day.
You want me to start a group chat with you, me, and the crush that I have?
Yeah.
I have 2 followers on Instagram. There's no way. There's no way. That would be insane. It's funny when it's John Mayer because like he would love it. But for a regular guy, just to be like, who who are these girls? Why do they send me a picture every Friday night going, hanging out, doing girl stuff? Miss you. That would be crazy.
That is a cute meet cute if it works.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that would be really cute.
I think we can move on to our signature segment, Earnest Moment of the Week.
Imatwa.
Do you have any earnest moments that happened to you this week?
I'm seeing a lot of like dogs outside, which is very sweet and fun. Yeah, just very wholesome dog content right now. Very cute. My cousin, her daughters spent the night at my parents' house this past couple weekends ago, and me and my sister went over there to help them because my parents are not equipped to handle a 6-year-old and a 9-year-old or however old they were. And so we got to hang out with them and it was fun. We had a pillow fight and then we, cause Mara made them big promises in the car. They were like, can we do back bends? And Mara was like, yeah. And she's like, do you have a pillow fight? And Mara was like, yeah, sure. And so then we had to fulfill all those promises. And it's like, I'm not doing a back bend. I don't know why we would ever do that for fun. Like,
no.
Why growing up, you're like, it would be such a good way to spend our time back bends. But we had a little pillow fight.
They just want to show you they can do them.
Yeah, right. We went into the basement and we had like a little golf station and we had a bowling station. So it was really fun and cute. And it was like, they had a good time.
Cute.
One of them taught me how to shove putty or slime into the cup and make it fart. So we spent a good amount of time doing that.
Oh, heck yeah.
Totally. Yeah. So it was a little earnest moment.
That's so sweet. Yeah. What a good earnest moment.
All right. Thank you.
Listeners, if anybody has any earnest moments that they would like to submit, you can send it over to us at Being Earnest Pod on all social media except for LinkedIn.
Do not send it to LinkedIn.
Do not send it to LinkedIn. Do not send it to LinkedIn.
Do you have an earnest moment?
I think my earnest moment is having you on this podcast.
Oh, stop you.
What a treat. What a treat.
Rascal.
What a freaking treat.
My gosh.
Well, thank you so much, Deanna, for joining us. This was so fun. This was my first ever guest host. I had such a good time with you.
I loved it. Thank you for asking me. I feel like we've done podcasts together, but we've never like done a podcast like hosting together. It's fun.
Yes, it's it's so much fun. And I'm sure as soon as we hang up, I will contact you immediately about something else.
You're going to start a group chat with me and the crush that I have.
No, you've got to hold me back.
I will take your phone away. Absolutely.
Thank you as always to Ryan Cruz for our beautiful logo. You can follow her on Instagram at @RBCruiser. And thank you to Dylan Dutch for our wonderful theme song. You can follow his music project, Death Love, everywhere that music lives. And until next time, this is where Josh usually does a little sign off. And
wait, let's think of one. What was something that we said?
Okay.
Until next time, Harry Styles called me.
Oh, she did it.
We did it.
Thanks, everybody.
Bye.